Obsidian, another note-taking software. I will make this one quick. I will try to make this one quick. And you're probably thinking to yourselves, but why another note-taking software? You already gave a video in the Pentesting series on a note-taking software. I know I did. I'm about to explain why. So basically, and like I mentioned before, there's a lot of different note-taking softwares out there, okay? Cherry Tree isn't the only one. Obsidian isn't the only one. Hell, I know people that work in cybersecurity and they've done Microsoft OneNote. Okay. So there's a lot of different note taking software out there. But basically, I want to give you the best tools that I can. I want all of you that are learning, all of you that are going through the different, tools and setups and everything. I want you to have the best tools that you have available to you. So, that being said, I played around with a lot. I've used Cherry Tree a lot for pen testing and ethical hacking and note taking on like risk assessments and stuff like that. But, recently I started using Obsidian and I love it. I think Obsidian is amazing. But there's so many different note taking softwares out there. Why are you making us learn another one? Because I want you to have the best tools available to you. All right. Please don't complain. I'm trying to help you. Okay. Am I going to apologize for trying to help you? No, I am not. Am I going to stop making more videos that show you cool tools, even though it may be a little redundant because there's a different tool that does basically the same thing, even though this one is better? No, I will not stop making those videos. So I'm pumping out what I can to help you out. So here you go. Okay. So this is Obsidian. Now you'll find a lot of different videos out there on Obsidian and how people, set up their Obsidian vaults. So basically, if you're familiar with OneNote, it's got notebooks, right? So you open up a notebook and you can make different pages with notes within that notebook and within those tabs or folders, right? Well, then you've got like Cherry Tree. Cherry Tree's got nodes. Well, Obsidian has vaults, and the vault is basically the project or, whatever you want it to be, the subject. So for example, this is the pen testing series for Code Red. I am Red. So that's what this vault is. Okay. And I just started a new vault. Okay. So it pre-populates with this welcome. This is your new vault. Make a note of something, create a link, blah, blah, blah. Great. But for future reference, you can make as many vaults as you want. And this is really important, especially for like pen testing and ethical hacking, because let's say you're working on a project for, company A, right? Well, then, if you're doing a pen test on company A, then you can make a vault for company A. And down here, you can click on this and you can actually see all the different vaults, right? Now, I'm blurring this out because I don't want you guys to see all the different vaults and what my file structure looks like. But Obsidian has all these different vaults. And the cool thing is that if you work on a team, so Obsidian has something called sync. So you can actually create a remote vault that matches this vault. You can sync it up. It's end-to-end encrypted. And you can share that remote vault, that synced remote vault, with other members of your team as long as you have their email address and as long as they're also on an Obsidian sync plan. If you're not doing remote vaults to sync and share with your teammates and your team members and you're only working on your own, Obsidian's free, which is great. Obsidian's built. You'll notice that it's the website is actually obsidian.md. So Obsidian is built for Markdown language, and Markdown language is a whole thing outside of this video that I'm not going to get into. But if you've done any bug bounties like Bugcrowd, for example, all their reports are written in Markdown language. I do suggest researching Markdown, understanding what it is, why it's important. Basically, this is the vault, right? So starting out, we're going to be hacking Metasploitable. I showed you guys a video of how to set up Metasploitable and what that looks like. All right. So we're actually, and that'll be just one of the things that we hack, but let's call this Metasploitable, and we'll delete that. Actually, you know what? Let's change this a little bit. Let's make a folder. So up here, so this is basically just a lot of different text files, okay? So let's make a folder up here, and we're actually going to call it Metasploitable, right? Because that's, let's say that's the machine we want to hack on. And then right here, this file, we can actually plop it in there and then click it. Oh, look, our file is in Metasploitable. Now, here's the cool thing. In Metasploitable, let's say it's not a, you know, we're doing the Metasploitable project in here, which is a folder. It's part of our pen testing series. And we actually have an IP address of a machine that we're attacking. And I'm just making this up, right? But let's say we found a device. This is the IP address, and we put all the information in here. So we can put the Nmap scans in here. We can put the, you know, the results of different tools that we use, like Nuclei or Nicto or Dirbuster for directory busting. If all of this sounds foreign, you know, we will eventually get into it. But basically, anything we find or any screenshot we need to take can be pumped in here, okay? And you can set this up. So another thing I want you to think about is, let's say you're doing a pen test on an enterprise network and you've got multiple machines, right? Well, now we can create another one for this other machine. Oops. Right? And we can make sure to drag it into that folder because it's part of Metasploitable, right? Because we could have another folder that says, you know, East Side building. I don't know. I'm just making shit up. Whereas like Metasploitable, that could be like the West Side building, right? So it's a good way to, you know, keep things organized. Now, the cool thing about Obsidian is that there's tons of community plugins that you can actually get, which create templates, layouts. It's really cool, actually. So let me see if I can bring up the plugins. So here we go, and this looks done to you guys. I'm actually looking through here just to make sure there's nothing that I have to blur out for privacy's sake. So community plugins, right? You know, talks about the community plugins. Let's go ahead and turn them on. Okay. So let's browse the community plugins. And you can literally do a search for community plugins. Let's say we want to do a search for hacking, right? Or even hacker. Look right here. This is cool. Hacker News periodically fetches and displays top stories from Hacker News. Well, let's go ahead and install that. Successfully installed plugin, Hacker News. All right, let's enable it. So it periodically fetches and displays top stories from Hacker News. Shit, fuck. And I already fucked it up. So we'll enable. Look at that. Now this is just, I mean, this is really simple, right? But, you know, I'm just using this as an example. But now we have this plugin enabled to where every time we come into Obsidian, you know, every once in a while, it'll bring up something from Hacker News and we can click on it. We can save it. We can actually read it. So, you know, that's an example. Or there are even themes. There's, you know, themes and layouts that a lot of developers have put together for Obsidian, which is really cool. Okay. But in the context of what we're doing and what we're trying to accomplish, so let's say we need to take a screenshot and we have, what have we talked about? Green shot. Good old green shot. Let's go ahead and open that up in the image editor. We just took a screenshot. Yay. And let's say, I mean, let's just say this was a screenshot of a finding, right, on a pen test report. And we needed to, you know, do the screenshot. We needed to add a border, right? Because we love green shot. We already did that. We need to obfuscate something. There we go. And, you know, like if we found a password, we need to obfuscate it. Oh, look at that. That's obfuscated. All right. And then we just need to save it. And I have things that will be blurred out here a lot. Okay, well now that won't be blurred out. But let's say you probably don't realize that there was a random pause in the video. I'm gonna tell you there was a pause in the video because I had to sneeze. Anyways, so I blurred some stuff out, but let's say, this is a screenshot of like, leaked passwords, right? Well, you can actually save your screenshot in the Obsidian Vault. So here in my file structure, this is actually the Obsidian Vault that I created right here, Code Red Pentesting series. So I can double click on it and I can save that image, right? That screenshot that we took for our heist, for our pen test. So I X'd out of it. Right there, boom, it's already saved. Because we saved it in the file structure of our vault, it shows up here in our vault of Obsidian, which is great. And, let's say it's not part of the east side building stuff, but it's part of Metasploitable. I can actually move it here to Metasploitable. Now, so let's say I need to, reference that, right? So I put nmap scan results in here, right? And those results are all there. But then I also need to put, that I found leaked credentials and I took a screenshot of it. I found leaked credentials and I can do a link. Now, a link is really cool. So a link is where you can actually take like this file, right? Or this image, and you can reference it in the note. And by doing that, you can actually do a double bracket. Bing bong. All right. So double bracket. Look at that. It gives me options already. Leaked passwords. All right. Hit enter. And now there's a link. All right. Now if I click on it, it'll take me to the image of the linked passwords. Okay. And this is cool too. You can have, multiple tabs open of things that you're working on. You can move them around. You can reshape things, which is really neat. I can also hit the back button of the current tab I'm in and go back to this. Okay. So that's really cool. Now, what's also really interesting is you can build network topology, and you can actually build relationships between things. So over here on the left-hand side, there's graph view. Look at that. Graph view. Okay. So this kind of gives you a view of the graph to be able to see relationships between things. And let's say I need to link that these two IP addresses are in the same network, right? Well, if I go back to my graph view, now you can see that they're linked. And so you can actually do lots of things like that. There's some great, options as far as linking, but that's basically that's what linking is. Okay. And it makes a really, really much simpler, much more secure, much more shareable way, because you can also, let's say you decide, let's say you're working on a bug bounty and you decide to work on a bug bounty with another security researcher, and all of a sudden you've got, to be able to share your notes back and forth. Obsidian is great for that. So I personally, I love Obsidian. I love what I've been finding with it. There's a lot of things that you can do. You can format things. You can create a task list of like, I need to do nmap scans on 5 machines found in network B, because network segmentation is real. You all will come across that in the field. And I need to write report of findings, write executive summary, research. Let's say I need to research Trojan payloads with MSF Venom. Is it OLED? Whoops. First of all, it's in it. Yeah. Okay. I'm okay. To evade Windows Defender firewall, and you can do all kinds of stuff. And if you find, articles and resources, you can link them in here. to the web. So Obsidian's really neat. It's super powerful. There's a lot more that you can do with it. And, as I do this series, you will see like how things develop and how I research and look at plugins and look at themes and look at ways and ideas to be able to perform the pen test, break into things, how I document things. And I know it seems ridiculous, but man, documentation is so important. It is so important. Okay, it really is. So just keep that in mind. Obsidian is great. It really organizes things, and yeah, there you go. You get another note-taking video. Congratulations.